Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, Championship Leadership Podcast. And today we got Chris Smith out of Waynesville, Ohio, just outside of Dayton. And Chris just came to ULW Experience in Nashville. So how you doing, Chris?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. So yeah, I just wanted to bring you on and kind of get your thoughts on the experience and what it was like for you. I know your wife originally was signed up to come, and then maybe, not too long beforehand, wondered if Chris could join us, and absolutely. So it was awesome. Chris and I had the opportunity to coach him in a different event a few years back. And then, we've done some Spartans together and become friends over that time span. But it was awesome to have you come with your wife as well. So first off, I guess, what was like that experience going through Unleash the Leader Within with Alicia?
It was great. I think, living day to day, you don't really, unfortunately, you get into a routine where you don't really dive deep into each other's feelings and goals and stuff like that sometimes. So it was nice to get away from, other family and kids and everything else and work, and just, create some space, just me and her. And dive into the event together. It was great.
What was coming out of that? What were some of the big takeaways that you had from the experience personally?
Personally, it was, when I first heard about it and all the financial stuff, that's what really intrigued me to go. And I gained so much value from the financial stuff from the speakers. And it wasn't, you go to some of these events and it's like the things you need to do are so unattainable that you just, when you get home, you don't even try to do them. And these were, I don't want to play it down, but they're simple things that everybody can do in their life.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing I got out of it. And the second off, I think the speaker was Mike Young. He was talking about, just being able to restart your life at any moment. And that was one takeaways for me. I restarted my career a couple of years ago, and I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I think I'm crazy for doing that, in my late 30s. And him just talking about how, any day you can just wake up and rip a piece of paper out of a notebook and start with a blank slate and start all over again. So that was the biggest takeaway for me, just because where I'm at in my life. But yeah, that was great.
Yeah, you made a big transition, right? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, 17 years I was in the same industry. I was in the car business for 17 years. And then I think it was pretty much right when me and you started working together is when I had it in my head that this wasn't what I wanted to do forever, but it was just such a huge leap for me to take. And things kind of worked out to where part of it was the decision was made for me, and part of it was the route I wanted to go, and I just did it. And it wasn't easy to do. And like I said, still today, I wonder what the heck I was thinking, but I'm so glad I did it. And it's changed my life tremendously. So I jumped into full-time real estate now for the last 2 years. And my stress levels have went down. My quality of life has went up, and I can truly wake up and know that I'm doing something that I like to do every day. And that's something I've never felt before.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Talk about, we did an aero break. We did a glass walk. Those are cool experiences. It's always fun to see the different people that we have at these experiences and go through it. Some of them don't have a problem with it. Some of them you can see that there's really some things there for them that they have to kind of fight through, and there's some big breakthroughs, and there's a lot of power behind going through those experiences for many. What was that like? Because I don't think had you ever done that before?
No, I've never done either of those before. No. I did the fire walk with you, but no, that was the first time I did a glass walk and broken an arrow over my throat. So you always bring up the good things for me to try first. That's for sure.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's funny because when you do something like that, and I've done it with a lot of things that we've done together. I've never understood the purpose of it until after it was done. You kind of look at somebody snapping an arrow with their neck like that, and it's like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But when you get in the moment and you see other people go through certain things to do that, and then you go through it yourself, you realize it's a metaphor for life. There's this, as silly as it sounds, there's a bunch of life lessons in that moment.
Yeah.
Same way with the fire walk or a glass walk and everything else. It's just, I can't explain what everybody gets out of it because it's different for them.
Right.
But for me, part of it is trying to be comfortable in the most uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Staying calm in those situations, and really, especially with the arrow break, because if you just went up and did it, you were fine. And if you went up there and you hated it, or you paused, or you second guessed yourself, it's when it got a little sketchy for people. And that's a huge metaphor for business, life, anything.
Right.
When things get rough and you pause and you sit around and you wait, and it makes everything 10 times worse than what it really is. So
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. What was it like, just with the format and how it was? We did a little bit of physical stuff. We actually did, kind of threw curveball, went to a Krav Maga gym. You had the financial piece. We talked a lot about leadership, set some outcomes. Mike Young's talk is always a fun talk around business and life and psychology of, as entrepreneurs and business owners that we all go through of trying to break through, right? And really kind of take it to that next level where you're not constantly scratching for clients and dollars.
right.
So yeah, what overall the experience for you? What was that? What was it like?
I mean, each piece, and I know you had it set up that way, but each piece, brings another piece to the puzzle, to where you're walking away from that event with really everything you need to gain what you came there for. The physical stuff was great. The Krav Maga class, I'll be honest with you, I was a little intimidated walking into that setting.
Were you?
Because I've never done anything like that before. I mean, I took Taekwondo as a small kid, and I never stayed. But I really enjoyed that a lot. Like, we looked at Krav Maga classes when we got home. I haven't done any yet.
Okay.
But I would definitely get into that. I can see why Richie's so addicted to that.
Yeah.
He has a whole, it's a really cool thing. So that was great. And, just experiencing new things like that where, like I said before, you're unsure about it and you end up loving it and getting so much out of it. That's really where you grow, I think, as a person, is doing those new things.
Yeah.
And it's funny, each speaker had their own value that they brought, but if anyone's never heard, Mike Young talk or on his podcast or something, he's on a different level of thinking. And, you can gain so much from him, from business and life, and financial stuff. It's ridiculous. He just talks in a different tone than what I've heard anybody try to relay a message. And, it really opens my mind up to all different possibilities of life.
Yeah. 100%. It's been awesome to have him be a part of this, and he's been a part of it from the first one. So we've done 3 of these so far. So what kind of wrap this up? What's something that like you said, there's a lot of, sometimes you come out of these things and a lot of people don't do anything with it, or it's just kind of like good, feel good information that makes you feel good there, but there's nothing to really take and do with it. Or like you say, sometimes it's just so big that it's like you never implement it because you're just intimidated by it. So what are some of the things that you've taken and implemented? What was that? I don't know if it was a month ago or about a month ago.
And what's funny with that event is I know me and you have been to plenty of these, not your events or anything you've been with, but just us being business owners. We go to these, we look for this kind of golden ticket of what do I need to do to turn things around, and you always end up leaving without that golden ticket. And your event made it to where it's not handed to you, but it's very obtainable. And some of the things with the Mike Lush,
Yep.
with the HELOC thing is, I mean, it's nothing that we necessarily didn't know about it. We just didn't know how to really take the steps to make that happen, you know, and that's something that I've looked into doing. That I wish I would have known about that 10 years ago,
Right.
because I know about it now, and we're almost, with the way the market is and everything, we're almost thinking about selling and relocating at some point. So we don't know if we're going to even implement that, but it's just that, and on top of, like, you know, finding ways to make your money work for yourself, investing, which is nothing new, but investing in something that, you know, compounds your interest over time. Just little things you can go home and do, and you don't have to spend $100,000 to do it. You can start with, you know, $100 or $500, and those are the things that I started implementing when I got home. Is learning, like, okay, I got X amount of dollars in the savings account that's literally losing money, and all it does is make me feel good at the end of the day to have it there. But I can take it in this other place, and I can do so much more with it, and my family's got this, you know, future that looks completely different. And those are the things that I took home with me, plus so much more. Like I said, you know, just being able to realize that I can start my life and my career differently at any time. And you know, financially, it really opens your eyes to everything that you've been taught from this point up, and how that's been wrong,
Yeah. Right.
and how you do those things, and just very little tweaks make
Yeah.
your life financially free. You know, I mean, everyone's always looking for financial freedom,
Yeah.
and actually right in front of your face the whole time, you know. So
Really. Well, and the great thing about if you do sell and relocate, like you can buy with that first HELOC, and
yeah.
you'll have plenty of equity from the sale, obviously. So yeah, that's awesome. What's you know, last question, anyone thinking about this or has been watching for a while and hasn't quite made the leap, what would you say to them to encourage them to come to ULW Nashville?
You know, it's always hard to explain these things to people that aren't open-minded to them. So I always tell, I was actually having lunch with a buddy the other day, and me and him were talking about it. And I was like, it is the perfect thing to go to if you're open-minded to, you know, relearning some things you've been taught your whole life, or being in a rut you've been in your whole life, and really taking the information, applying it, and changing your outcome. I go to so many of these events, and a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it, you go to them and you don't implement things. But this one is so different. Like I said, it's not an event you go to and you hear a bunch of people speak about how you can make $1 million if you already have $1 million. You know, it's everyday people talking about little things you can do in your life to tweak. And I think that's what makes this one special than any other one I've been to. And that's what I would explain to anybody. Like, you can go watch these $1 million speakers on the stage with 10,000 other people, and you won't get nearly what you'll get out of this, in a small room, intimate setting, just a handful of valuable speakers. You know, you can really go home with, like I said, I wish I would have known this stuff 10, 20 years ago. You'll go home with knowledge of a lifetime out of the 3 days you're there.
Yeah.
And that's what I would tell them.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you. I know you got a book, and I know you have an incredible story yourself, and also obviously you're in the real estate world too. So if you're in the Ohio area, Dayton area, Cincinnati area, obviously, what are some ways that people could follow you if they're interested in real estate, if they're interested in learning about your story of addiction recovery too, with your book, and what's some ways that they can follow you and get a hold of that?
Yeah, so probably the easiest way to follow me, but yet the hardest way to find me would be on Facebook. There's Chris Smith out there, but you can go on Instagram. I post about the same content on Instagram as well, and that handles The Tattooed Realtor. You can go on there and find me. Like I said, Facebook. I also have a website. It's called ChristopherSmithRE.com. You can go on that website. That will show you all my real estate stuff, but there's also links to contact me directly. So if you want to find me and follow me, you can shoot me an email and I'll send you all the links through that. And I believe there's a link to my book on there as well. That's on Amazon. And Yeah, I think that's about the best ways to find me.
Yeah, I love it. We'll get you get those all linked up too. So I appreciate you taking some time, man. It's been good to see you.
Yeah, always, man. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too.